Right. So, about a week ago, Slap, you submitted I think it was mid-platinum footage, like 26 or 2700.
About 26, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the placement, yeah, around 26.
Yeah. It featured some goats or goats-ish compositions from both sides, and you had some specific questions, like first of all about Lucio, and then second of all about some general goats principles that you could look to imply, like into your game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So mostly Bob, of course, will be handling the Lucio-specific stuff. I'll definitely be able to pinch in with the goat-specific stuff, but we might have some overlap here and there, so that we'll just kind of figure it out there. See, like everyone who's like in the Q.GG room right now can just access the drawing tools and whatnot. So I kindly request you that only Bob and I do this. Would be very nice.
There you go, full screen.
Yeah, I'm full screening by the way. So if anyone says something, then it's gonna be
I'm
a bit
doing
difficult.
the same thing because
I'll keep Discord on phone open in case Chris or Cake has any questions. But yeah, we're gonna be starting off with some Ana footage at the start. It's not like I think you mentioned Slap that you want to maybe have like an Ana specific VOD at some point.
I do have a different,
like a lengthier, yeah.
Well, it's a Nepal. Well, it's 2 whole rounds, Zana.
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
I did really wrong because I thought I did okay.
Yeah, we'll just go over those. Like, we'll get Flipsy in on those if you want to submit them. But for now, we'll just kind of give some like brief Ana tips as we go by. We'll focusing for the majority on the Lucio and the goat specific parts.
And the most important thing mostly is the positioning.
Yeah.
Most Anos stay way too far up front. What's not needed.
Yeah, I keep having to remind myself to just come way back.
Let's look at a comp first of all, because I think we will end up sticking to this. Running.
Oh, he's just about to change to Lucio.
Oh, he's about to change to Lucio. Oh, yeah, good stuff.
Lucio for Ryan,
that's good. Yeah,
that's very good. I like it because otherwise Reinhardt and Zara can't really move. But yeah, then we've got a decent comp. Like McCree is a bit peculiar to fit in. It can do well if there's like a Doomfist or a Genji, but at least you have your Rein's or Lucio Ana, which is always like a good combo for people. And you've got your Hanzo for some Dragon Strike combos. So it's like in theory, it's a pretty decent comp. Right, so we saw the Reinhardt was charging from outer space. Nice. Right. So the sleep there was pretty good. I think Bob and I can both agree to that.
Yeah, that was decent. The nade.
Yeah, I was just trying to make sure that if I needed to back off, that my friendlies were naded and Lucio could do boosted healing.
I'm not great at Ana either, but it's always better because your nade is an important skill to save it for whenever or it's really needed, or you can get really big value. If you use it quite early, a good enemy team will know you used it and they can kind of push after that.
Yeah. It's like a couple distinct usages. There's like the actual healing nade, which is like for relatively urgent cases. Say that both your Reinhardt are really low on HP and they're both being pushed, then you can definitely think about healing. In this case, it was still like pretty full on HP. The other one, of course, is anti. If anything needs to be anti, then definitely that's a good anti-nade right there. And there's a couple of cases where you need to kind of fend for yourself. So let's say they're Genji or Tracer's diving you, and you're like half HP, you need to actually maybe grenade the floor and at least make sure you get some healing for yourself, and that any healing that comes onto you is it's a called amplified. But also, if you anti them as well, maybe it might serve as a deterrent too. Ideally, of course, it's always better to get an anti-nade that hits both you and your teammates in both you and the enemy, or your team and the enemy. That's ideal. It's not per se a hard requirement, but it's a nice little thing. In this case, it's not completely bad, but it wasn't like no real immediate usage for the grenade, which means we won't have it for a solid like 10 seconds ish. But the sleep dart here was good. It was a good way to hold them. Right. As you can see, we kind of like clutched it out now to some extent, but that Reinhardt going low like twice now would have been maybe good moments to have that nade earlier. And now we can't quite help it on ourselves either. But once again, good sleep to recover. Yeah, that was an example of like a good nade. Because as you can see, both like helped some people that were low on point, but you also got an anti-nade on some of them, which might help swing the fight. I think Bob had like a little note on positioning here.
Yeah, if you went forward, I think. If you go back a little bit.
Yeah, like 5-10 seconds ish. Here we disengage first.
Okay, from this point on, how I'm going to explain this. Can I draw? Yes, I can.
Yeah, you can.
Toggle, where's that thing? Okay, I cannot draw today, I think. Never mind, I'm not going to try it because I'm fucked up already. Okay, you lost the point. From this point on, you have to call to your team, like, go back. You go into the tunnel behind you,
Mhm.
I cannot draw, but I would draw.
No, Archway.
Argyll draws for me.
Archway is that way.
Back.
Yeah.
What?
So
Do you see
retreat.
drawings? I don't see shit.
I can, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
you must have a filter.
And your team has to know that you are going back because your line of sight won't be on the point, but it will be where your Zarya is now at this point.
Yeah.
So you have to back off because team can get to you. What's gonna happen?
If their Ryan charges in, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
It's kind of right. Get a good sleep.
Oh,
he
that's
dies.
why Ryan charged in. He tried to charge out.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
after this.
But this is this.
And then,
Okay.
Their Ryan just charged by.
such
Now you
frustrating.
know the Rhine is on your right side.
Yeah.
You can't go for it. If you die, your team is gonna lose. But you don't even react to him, I think.
No, I don't. I either just sort of completely ignored him and
Until
Yeah.
until he was angry.
well, it's like I didn't know he was there. Like I don't know how oblivious I was because there's no way I couldn't have seen him charge, but I must have just thought, oh fuck it, I can't do anything about him. I'm just gonna try and keep people on point alive.
Yeah.
What you also can do, but it's gonna be harder in these kind of games over general. But in scrims, for example, how do I back? You have to draw Argyll on the
Okay.
right side top.
Right side top window.
Yeah, the window.
Oh yeah.
If I scrim with my team, my Anna always stays in high ground unless she gets pushed by, for example, a Genji or something that can get there. Then she drops down. But our whole team knows that she will be in the high ground, and we cannot push outside of
Past.
the point
Yeah, past line
because
of sight.
we have line of sight, or we have to win the fight because she will never come out. But in that case, if the enemy runs goats, they cannot even reach you.
They cannot do anything about her.
Yeah.
Or they have to put the diva in. But like
Yeah.
I said, that's normal in scrim games. It's really hard to pull that off in
No
these
rank
kind of
game.
games.
I think I was hoping that they weren't going to be goats.
Mhm.
I think it was like around about this point where I was like, okay, this is going to be tough. But
They
we
might just run
we
goats.
But you made a good change, I think, because you went goats after this, right?
A
No,
little bit. We're gonna be running like some Arrested Reinhardt goats, but Slap's first going to use his Nano Boost if I remember
Oh yeah,
correctly.
of course, the junk. Yeah, okay. This is not even a bad pick of your team.
No. Sombra and Junkrat are
yeah,
both
we
pretty
just-
good. Could maybe use a little bit of damage up, but at least now with Sombra, Junkrat, and Ani have a lot of utility to deal with goats if you pull it off. It's not easy, but it's
Okay,
like pretty
for this
decent.
point is good. You normally play Lucio, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what should there's only one job your Lucio has to do now. What is that job in this comp? And they are playing goats.
I just move the Rhine around.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Okay. All you do as Lucio here is keep your Rhine safe. You use your boops to disengage boop the enemy Rhine away, or
Yeah.
you use speed boost just to counter their speed boost.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you have to do because you will out damage them in the time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not just about moving around about. It's mostly moving him to a safe place, which may happen from time to time when their goat starts rushing.
Yeah. Okay. This is going to be a clusterfuck.
Yeah. Right. Let's
what I
pause
did
for a
there
second
was-
here.
Did what I do there was really bad?
Let's go back just a little bit. Like, we have our initial sort of engagement here. There's something about probing out. They use team bubble, which is good. I like the fact that you recognize that after their team bubble is down, it's like a good moment to land an anti-nade and use the archway quite well to do so. That was good. Your Reinhardt like kind of loses the mind game, I would say. So a lot of people get shattered. Your positioning right now is a bit risky.
Yeah, it's just trash. It's trash.
We're gonna see just as your Sombra
What's
TPs.
here?
Because watch your Sombra TP in just a second.
Yep. That's the best position.
Whoop. Complete line of sight over the archway still.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, if they would like actually want to send someone your way, they would either have to send Diva on like a solo mission, which in that case, your Junkrat can just like spam for days and you can hack the Reinhardt for free because there's no Diva to spy check your Sombra. And then you have like all the Junkrat grenades, and if they don't, then you always have a good chance to throw an anti-nade. Yeah.
Much easier to get to this high ground though as well.
Yeah, like
and
it's
from
pretty
here-
safe and accessible too.
If you get pushed from here, for example, by the diva, you can always jump to the right side into the staircase, and there's a big health pack.
Yeah.
Or left or right, depending on if I
Yeah.
Yeah, wherever you will go.
Yeah,
It's,
Your team
it's a
can
really
also
safe
feel a bit.
spot for Anna.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid spot, I would say. Yeah.
yeah, cool. I do sometimes go there, but yeah, because
Yeah.
it's not there's snipers on the other team, it makes it hard.
Yeah. It's always like against a sniper, it will be a risky spot, but I don't see Diva sniping, you know.
I think is this the point where
I think you're going to use beat drop first, and then you're going to swap after. Because then you guys wanted to play some Moira and Zen Goats, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
At least you do have beat drop now, so it would make sense to at least get some value out of that one. Okay, healing the Sombra, that's nice. Okay, one thing I haven't really noticed yet, and here we are, one of them being popped. Ultimates. How's have we been doing in ultimates so far?
Who's on
Both
their
teams.
side?
Both teams.
Well, so Shatter was used in the last fight.
Yeah.
I can't remember if they used Zarya.
They did not use Zarya. We did use a Nana Boost. They used Chatter. I think a beat drop was popped, but I'm not too sure about that one.
Can't remember if there's a beat drop.
Yeah.
Who else do they have?
Fact of the matter is, they've been playing goats for 3-ish minutes now.
So they should have had 2 sets of ults or something.
Yeah. So they used, what's it called? They used Shatter just now. May have used beat drop at like this second they pop rally. Probably have grabbed Diva Bomb.
Yeah.
Probably have Transcendence.
Yeah.
And we have to swap a lot of things, but we have some ultimates coming up now. Like we use your Nana Boost, you have beat drop coming up. I think EMP is relatively close too. Your tanks should be getting there soon as well. Unfortunately, I think it hit one of the shields.
Oh,
that's a grab. It's a Shatter. That's their beat drops. Okay, so they didn't use it yet. That's their grab. That's your beat drop. Right. Unfortunately about to sleep, but this would be a good moment, for instance, when you got rushed. It wasn't by any means sure that you were going to win this fight, but it might have been a good moment to call for help.
Right, okay.
Or maybe even use the nade on both Brig and you.
I think I saved it. Yeah, I was trying to save it until I was a bit lower.
Yeah. That's kind of like when you were like around the 100 HP, it would have been alright.
Just not go goats against goats.
So here we're going to see swaps come through. We will stick to the EMP. Yeah.
They just speed onto us when we die.
Orion. If we can get Orion, then I'll EMP.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Was this on NA servers or?
Maybe.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that people are just changing and talking.
Yeah, and that I can understand them well. Right, but let's see here, because we had a lot of interesting swaps. We still have Sombra. We have double main tank now with Lucio Moira. And I think Junkrat's still stuck to his pick.
Junkrat's on Junkrat, yeah. I think he's got his ult.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
here's the Lucio part.
I forgot. Okay. Enemy team gets EMP'd. Your Reinhardt is low over here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the moment you use your boop just to get their Reinhardt off, because they're EMP'd. When you boop them off, you will kill them 1 second later, but your Reinhardt can heal up. They're EMP'd anyway, so they can never get out. It's not gonna happen. But what you do now, you're gonna boop the Reinhardt into your Rein, and that's why your Reinhardt is gonna die. You're gonna win the fight after that because they're EMP'd, but it's an extra risk you put in the game.
Right.
Yeah. Normally, when their Reinhardt does have his shield up, it could be possible to boop him in because then he can actually be taken by surprise. But in this case, because his shield was down, there was not really any means for him to avoid getting damaged a lot.
Yeah, that's still you win this fight eventually, but it's really risky. You kill your 2 main tanks. You got Orisa Reinhardt, and after that you have no shields anymore. If they would play this really good, they would have won this fight. But yeah, be careful with the boops.
Yeah.
Mostly in Ghost, you will use it defensively, just to defend your line.
Especially if you're not playing the full proper Goats yourselves. Yeah. Okay, so now we got some interesting picks.
But now I know you're gonna pop off on Lucio.
We do, yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if we actually stuck to the Brig or to the Diva, but we got another swap here. Yeah, we have triple tank now. Oh, we had it for a while. Peculiar tank line, but...
I think this is a 3 tank, 3 heals.
Yeah. Okay,
I know what you're gonna do here, which is really good, but it's even better if you're gonna stay. Can you draw? There's a little hole on the
top right window.
Yeah, top right in the window.
Yeah.
You can go sit there with Lucio, and you will do the same thing as you're doing now, but the enemy team won't see you.
Yeah. Won't quite reveal yourself.
And if they really push really hard, you can always speed back to your line, but they won't see you sitting there.
Yeah. At least they would have to use cooldowns to get you.
Yeah, the enemy team now, they are too stupid to see you, but a good team will notice you will come to the side.
Didn't quite get the execution here, but it was a good plan at least to get the boop off. And this was a bit of a wall riding mechanics.
I think I try it later.
Why is it stopped?
It hasn't stopped for me.
What the fuck?
Try F5, I'll pause it for you.
Oh, okay, it's sinking. At least it's a good sign.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play it a little bit because it's on a black screen synced right now, and that's a bit deceiving. Okay. Are you looking at a wall riding mission?
Yeah.
Nice.
In the spawn, right?
Yeah. There we go. So we're gonna get a contest going.
Big move.
Got the Ryan off.
Big plays.
I was hoping the Brig would make the same mistake, but...
It's still a good displacement, nonetheless.
Brigitte.
Yeah.
Or Diva low.
Oh, that's too early.
Oh, she's still...
Zarya back line.
Yeah,
Okay.
she still fell off.
All your moves are really good. Only one thing that you should do is wall ride always. Also on this point, you're staying on the point, which normally they would kill you. They have a goat. If they pull on you, you can never get out. Just ride on this wall. You're aiming at now.
Yeah,
You can get like
okay.
above a person and they can't hit you, or they have to invest in you.
I think
And you can still push.
I felt safer when the Ryan wasn't there, because Ryan's just my greatest fear. As a
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
From here.
Using a bit of the side tracking, but not much. But yeah. All in all, we'll see that you have like a lot of good offensive moves, like a lot of environmental kills. I would not recommend staggering Zara because you just use grab. You're just gonna build up more percentage again.
Okay.
Nice.
I know that you also hear that she used grab, like when you just let out a spawn.
Oh, we got everything.
Let's just use rally. Use rally.
She's got it. I thought.
Oh, she used it. She used it.
Oh,
like
okay,
just as
okay.
you got out of spawn, she used it.
Ah, I see.
Keeping up for a special attack.
That's good enough. That's good enough. That's good enough.
Oh,
Nice boopy.
Oh, it's the break.
It was the break. That's good.
it could have been two, yeah. It's really close.
Get the Zen or something.
That's a good call. You're
Yeah.
gonna speed.
This is just unfortunate. Like
Every time, I
Yeah.
get pinned every
Yeah.
time.
But it's a cult. Like, don't get demoralized by this, because it may seem like a bit bad because you died, but that was just like a random sniper art across the map. Like, you getting that call going with your speed amp is very valuable, and there's like a couple other moments during this match where I'll think like, if you would have maybe called, hey, let's amp speed in, that would have been perfect. Like, this was a very good call, what you did here.
They're gonna shatter.
It's just like.
Oh,
Damn it. Too greedy. I'll pay the
yeah,
price.
yeah, okay, but you knew it.
I was not disciplined.
I don't have to explain that one, right?
It was a bit telltale as well when you're hiding up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is,
I was at the wrong
you
side.
got the beat there, you know they're gonna push. You're the most important ult at that point. You should never go offensive with it.
Oh shit, Ryan in the back line.
Yeah, if I'd have been wall riding, I could have still had my value, but not put myself at risk.
Yeah, one thing is also is that they're running Lucio Zen, so they have, like, at their best, they have double support ults up that can sustain them. You at best really only have one. So, especially when you haven't used it for a while, you might become a priority target for them.
Everything.
Once again, good knockoff, liking those.
Oh,
Ish.
you
gonna watch
actually
the fight
carry the team here.
Yeah. Stalling on
That's
point, keeping everyone alive, getting 2 final blows. I'm liking it. Getting grabbed.
Behind the payload, yeah.
It's quite a decent spot to get grabbed at least.
That's-
This is alright. Right. This fight is like going off quite a while and it's a bit frantic.
This does last the rest of till overtime, I think.
Yeah, I know. I think like you using your beat drop there is kind of alright. Like maybe they could have blocked it with a shield. Maybe they wouldn't have because there were little comms going on in general. So just having that beat drop to be safe is quite okay, I would say. I don't know if Bob is on point with
Nah,
that.
I would also throw it out over there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lost fight and you just want to win the fight.
Yeah. And you're not going to get a new one with that time bank.
It's all or nothing at that point, so.
Yeah. One thing you could maybe look to do is try and track cooldowns a bit more. For instance, that Zarya sometimes uses some bubbles, like interestingly, as in walking forward aggressively without a self bubble, which means you can be punished. Near Diva sometimes flies forward and ends up being like pretty deep into your team's lines. You could maybe say something like Diva no fly, focus Diva. It can make maybe help these fights be a bit more structured, because I think you do end up winning this. But maybe just having that bit more target focus can help.
Yeah, they don't push it any further, but it literally is just this scrappy.
Yeah. There's like 3 meters.
They don't push it anymore, I don't think.
A lot of things going about.
Yeah.
Okay, the way you try to win this fight, or the best opportunity you will have, is call just one target. Everyone has to focus.
Yeah.
At this point, it's going to be one big clusterfuck, and no one in your team is knowing what he's doing.
What the other person's doing.
Yeah, not even what they are themselves doing. They're just hitting the closest target, and nothing's going to die because it's goats.
Because it's goats.
The best way is just try to target one person, because you're defensive. If you get one kill first, you kind of have a bigger chance to win.
A much bigger chance, yeah.
But you will see, no one has a clue over here.
I just have to get some clutch, like their Reinhardt killed himself, you get a good boop, and then it kind of gets in there. But for instance, especially a diva like that just, what's it called? Especially a diva that just like flies in a bit bluntly.
Literally throwing.
That'd be like a good target to focus down. If there's like no real vulnerable targets, then just go for whatever seems best. But if one person obviously makes a mistake, then that's something you could look to punish.
The easiest targets are, a diva or a brick even.
It depends on who's making the mistake. In this case, it's mostly the Zarya and the diva. It would seem to me.
Well played. Good goats.
Yeah, Zarya's also, the one that's most out of position.
In this case, in this map, like, if you'll notice, Zarya often used her self-bubble quite aggressively. And then she's, like, sort of overstays a welcome. I feel that if like, the entire team would push it, you could make something out of it.
I mean, she's so stationary, though. The whole point of the comp is just press W.
It's just to go into them, like, but
Okay, before we go into this attack, how do you win with goats on this map? How do you make the push? How do you push that? If you know they are going to play goats and you're playing goats.
Try and get as close as you can and then speed boost into them, like go through hotel or maybe rotate right. Try and bait out their shields or something.
That's right. But also remember your team, that every cooldown and every fucking skill they have has to be ready to put on the Reinhardt. So the Brick E, the Zarya bubble, the speed boost, the Zen orb, whatever you're playing, everyone has to be on the line. And if you get on a high rank, but it's not going to happen on this point, you always push after they use their Zarya bubble on their Reinhardt. So you wait for that, then you put it on your Rein, and then you speed boost in. In that case, you will almost always win the Ghost fight.
Yeah.
Especially the offense.
Yeah. To kind of touch into it, because we did like kind of hover over it a bit. At the defense that you guys played Moira goats to some extent. You had like double main tank, which is a bit peculiar, but you still had like Moira, Brick, Lucio, right? The enemy team's running the Zen goats variant, so that'll be Reinhardt, Zarya, Diva, and then Lucio, Zenyatta, Brick. That's a very well-known goat comp to many, I feel. And you also played a bit of Ana goats, or a weird variant of that. And you're gonna play Ana goats in this offensive clip, if I remember correctly. Can you like kind of Slapdash? I just kind of want to hear like where your own knowledge is at on this matter. Can you kind of tell me like what the advantages of these like 3 different variations would be and how they kind of relate to one another? Like why did they have an edge over others in certain situations? So what are the benefits of Moira goats as opposed to the other goats variants?
Is that to me?
No, it's a Slapdash.
Oh, I was already...
Sorry.
There you go. I was already wondering, like, is my internet cutting out?
No, it's me. I got distracted by child being
happens.
Noisy.
Right, but
did you ask me a question? Sorry.
Yeah. So like, if these are the 3 standard goats variants, right? So Moira goats, Ana goats, Zen goats is always like in the flex support where you see the small swaps in most cases. What will be the benefit of Moira goats over the other goats? Because you did play a sort of Moira goats on your defense for quite a bit.
Possibly just like the area healing for Moira.
Yeah, AoE heal.
Orbs. And it can go through shields. It's not
anymore. No, it does get blocked by shields these days, but yeah, it was in the game.
But you can go through the shield.
Like shift, mobility.
Not the healing.
Yeah.
The healing. But yeah, Moira's survivability as well with the shift.
The shift, yeah, the fade. Other so like a lot of AoE healing, a decent bit of mobility, so you can escape. Any other things that you wanna like put on here?
For Moira.
Shall I fill one in for you?
Yes, please. Sorry, it's difficult for me to concentrate right now.
A very quick ult charge. Moira in goats gets her ultimate oftentimes within 30 seconds if it goes well. Because you generally put out a lot of healing, and then you also have 3 tanks to heal, and everyone plays quite clumped up, like Cake is saying. So you can probably, if you're playing against other goats variants, Moira will probably be the one that gets her ultimate first, just because you pump out a ridiculous amount of healing. Then on to Ana. What would the like upsides of an Ana Goats variant be?
I'm sorry.
What would the advantages of Ana Goats? What would that be in relation to Moira Goats or Zen Goats?
The anti-nade and the nano boost, and the utility just of her sleep, I suppose, and the
a lot of utility. And still like a good healing output. Right, like Ana still heals quite significantly. And then on to Zen Goats. What's the advantage there?
extra damage output with the Discord,
Mhm.
and Transcendence as a defensive ult.
Transcendence. Okay, and what is the like, especially the upside of Discord? I want to hear like one thing here. I'm not sure if anyone's gonna guess it, but why is Discord so helpful? It's not just winning the main tank battle. That's one of the things that people will point out. It's not just winning the main tank battle for me.
It's that you can stand a chance of getting the brig down a bit quicker.
Couple things. He does auto damage, so I'll just put it on there. One of the things that what's it called? Moira has a lot of healing and has a decent shift and like healing orb, but shift can be baited out, and if it doesn't find effect, it's not that great. And healing orb can be blocked or negated for Diva Matrix.
Diva, yeah. So
Ana's entire utility can be eaten by Diva, so you need to be very clever on working around it.
Whereas Zen doesn't have any.
How does Discord orb like get completely hard countered?
Oh, Zarya bubble.
Only Zarya bubbles, and then after that dissipates.
Yeah.
Yeah, Discord orb again. Zen's
Absolutely.
like Zen's value in terms of his abilities is very consistent because both his healing and his like Discord orb can barely be negated through regular abilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a lot of consistency. And then one small thing as well, but this is a bit more niche. It used to be the case where Zen was really helpful with armor stacking, just because you could keep your armor for a long period of time with like the regular shield HP. But I think that's been removed recently. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's already
temporary.
out.
Yeah. Still though, a Zen with 275 HP is scary to dive.
Yeah. So with a brig,
Yeah. So like in the Goats v Goats matchups, commonly Zenyatta Goats is the strongest just because it has the most consistent output of like extra damage amplification and regular damage, but also has an extra like defensive ult that can last like even longer than another Goats comp can. Moira Goats is like good against spammier type of compositions and also sometimes a bit better against dive just because you have so much escapability and it's so hard to kill you. You do also have a lot of like ult charge in that one. And with Ana Goats, it's kind of playing around to utility and the ult charge. It's kind of a midway, I would say, even though Ana's a bit of a unicum compared to the others. With the Ana Goats,
Mercy into Goats. Fuck that.
No, don't do it.
Don't do it.
But what's it called? Like with Ana, you can still beat the other Goats if you like get very consistent value out of your sleeps and your anti-nades. And sometimes also your nano boosts, but do keep in mind it may be a bit difficult to survive graph combos if you're playing Moira Goats or Ana Goats, just because you don't have like that extra defensive ult. Like if you don't get hit by the graph combo, you may still get hit by, like, I don't know, a Reinhardt shattering your team with a brig rally to by his side. Like that extra little sustain can help. So there's like some general principles. Definitely the Ana Goats is usually better than the Moira Goats variant. Zenyatta Goats is commonly the strongest, but if there's like other compositions than Goats, then oftentimes the Ana and Moira Goats gets played.
Just an easy way, play Zen Goats if you play against Goats, and play Ana Goats if you don't play against Goats.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's like the 2 LDR. But these are like some of the differences in terms of Goats principles. I'm just going to wipe it out now. We're going to actually look at some footage. And like Bob said, like towards the higher ranks and towards team play, people will get a bit more like intricate about their Goats plays. I think if you're still playing like solo queue and you're not like, I don't know, at a top 500 level, you can probably still do a lot of work by just letting your Reinhardt engage by giving him resources. Because like you're playing the Ana Goats in this case. Like your Lucio and Brig and Diva are probably not going to quite like single-handedly carry this game. Reinhardt's going to start to do a lot when he gets a lot of resources, which means that Zarya will be high charge. And because your Reinhardt's making a lot of space, your Ana will have this, like the opportunity to find nades and sleeps because she's not being pressured, and your Zarya can just sit there with 80 charge because things tend to be rather effective.
Yeah. You were good, Lucio.
So in the ultimate way, if you push, you will speed boost. Your Rhine gets the Zarya bubble after you get swung one time by the enemy Rhine. The Diva start matrixing after the Zarya bubble, and you just push in as hard as you can. You just let the hammer swing.
Yeah. Trying to remember how we take the first one.
We struggle a bit to cap first point, but we do get like a solid streets phase rolling. It's kind of skedaddling about.
Also, since we have the time, the best way to get... Okay, listen, mechanical rank isn't as important on Lucio as on like a DPS character. So what's
This
more
map's
important for
very
Lucio
good.
is like communicating or make a plan.
Unless they got a
Mhm.
bad
At this
accent.
point of time, you should just make for your team the plan like what I just said.
Yeah.
We're not going to use any skills. We go slowly forward. I'm going to
Okay,
count down the
that's
speed
what
boost.
goes- what
Everyone
we
uses
do.
the skill on the line, and we just push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No hesitation.
Keep it nice and simple so that
Yeah.
it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just keep telling it. Don't use any skills. I'm going to make a countdown in a few seconds. Don't take damage here. That's how I should call through this kinda.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get like into some communicative aspects later. Usually the main tank will be the target caller, so he commonly decides who we're going to focus down. If the main tank is doing it, then maybe someone else can pick it up. But things that a support player can maybe do to call is help in ultimate tracking and ultimate management. So, hey, what ults do they have? What did they use? And what do we want to use? And you can sort of do the same thing for your like ability management. So you can say like Bob is saying, hey Zarya, save your bubble for when Reinhardt engages. They can kind of like you can
Just a
like
careful
yeah.
reminder.
And you can say like, hey, they do not have a Zarya bubble, we can push now. So once again, you kind of keep track of abilities and you make your own plan accordingly. And kind of tied into that, you can sort of decide on whether you want to push something or not. And I think my VOD is frozen, but it could be me.
Okay, here we're just gonna nitwit on something.
Yeah. I'm gonna sync the video. It should be good again now. I was like at 11:02.
Okay, here I'm gonna pause. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't see it. You use your E ability here to heal up.
Yeah.
Okay, rule of thumb, I only use my healing ability in this kind of case, if you're not getting pushed or anything, when there are like 3 people low or more.
Yeah.
But it's only your Rhine and you got an Anna. If you had Zen goats, maybe. But here it's you have to wait like a lot of seconds to use it again on the attack.
Yeah.
And in those seconds you will get again the damage.
Mhm.
So it's no value in the end.
Yeah. The speed boost is a bit more valuable there.
It's just a little thing, yeah.
Zarya, you can.
This is a good one though. How'd you feel about that boop, Bob?
I didn't even notice it.
Oh, he booped Zarya when she didn't have self bubble. There.
Zarya, you can.
Oh, yeah, it was a good one. Your team should have killed him.
Yeah.
They didn't though.
Yeah. And here you can kind of see the downsides of healing a lot with Lucio when you have like an Ana Goats variant. First of all, maybe it denies your Ana to get your healing and Nana boost up. Second, they have Shatter now.
Go again.
'Cause if you move quite slowly, there might be a chance they deal a lot of damage in the
Hey, we push
process.
with rally next fight. They're gonna have ults, so only use rally. Unless we can get shattered.
We're going with that rally and hopefully give Ryan
So
a
again,
bubble
in
and get
this point,
Shatter and
just
see
call
what
what we just have to do for your team.
Actually, if we can get them
Don't use any skills. Get safe in
Yeah,
position
no,
so we can speed boost in and count down for
rally
them.
Nano.
They will listen to you.
Yeah. Especially if it's quite accessible, like speed boost in 3, 2, 1, push. Like that could be something like it's a shame that the team doesn't end up quite pushing, but if you communicate that, it's relatively like accessible for a team to follow up on it. Right, that's a big shatter.
That's a good shatter. And you pick the right target here.
Yeah, you picked a good target. Like the Zen is always a good focus target, but also you stay close to your Reinhardt so you can help him out. It's something I really like to see. Because people,
Okay, here, okay. Before we're gonna show it.
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna cap the point. Who's gonna stay on the point? Normally,
Normally,
in your comp.
yeah, me, I think.
No. You're gonna
Yeah,
do it,
yeah.
but not me.
because your
the best-
Reinhardt just uses shatter, so what does he want to do?
Oh, he wants to
Push
Yeah.
up.
and get build it
Yeah.
up. So the Anna should
Mhm.
stick on. Taylor.
Yeah. And if
and the
you're,
most
I go Bob.
The most important thing in goats is speed. It's
Mm-hmm.
all about speed. You got static tanks going forward, and they want to go fast forward, and you have to speed for them.
Yeah.
So fuck the Anna and help your team with speed boost.
Yeah, because that's kind of where it ties into. If your runner wants to push up for like getting a Zerf Shatter, then most likely the Zarya will have to accompany him, so you get another slow target. And oftentimes also really handy to have Brigand there just in case. They have 3 immobile targets on the front line, and they kind of can use the speed boost. And with Ana, as long as people keep line of sight, the Ana can always heal them from 70 meters away. And if there's like a brief corner, you could say like, okay, walk back around this corner, I'll walk back around this one, and then we're both in line of sight again. Like when things get sticky. But in this case, as you see, just as your Ana is like going like heading back. Brig dies, and she couldn't really quite disengage. Reinhardt's in trouble. Can't really disengage. It was Reinhardt, and you also... Zarya sadly used the Graviton, but at least they used Zenalt. But as you can see, when you weren't there, it didn't take very long for your Brig and for your Anna to be in trouble. Or, sorry, your Brig and your Reinhardt.
Yeah. It's huge, actually. Huge. They haven't got a Brig.
But you made some good boops here.
Push it, ready?
You say 15.
These were the more defensive boops that Bob was talking about, keeping our team safe.
It's you use 90% of the boops in goats are defensive boops.
Yeah, just to save someone from getting.
Yeah, and maybe in scrims it's a little bit more like offensive boops, but
Yeah.
then your team is smart and won't die.
Won't have to worry about it too much yet. Just focusing on keeping your team safe, especially in like this normal solo queue environment. If you use your boop to immediately keep someone safe, that's very like immediate value that doesn't need too much follow-up or thought from your team. Just somebody can kind of sneak in there for a little bit of extra value. Alright, so now we're doing good. We're pushing up over times.
Back up, back up, back up.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it has a good call. Oh, I don't even know if it's you, but...
We're gonna get all flamed up.
Oh,
Got the beat drop
yeah,
just in
cool.
time.
that's a huge beat drop, yeah. A little bit lucky, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a strange fight here. Said it,
Yeah,
then it
we
was
should've
like
won,
landed on you.
really. We had all the advantages. And then
True.
we just got...
Yeah, but the same thing here. At this point, it's gonna be a clusterfuck, and it's like the goats team that coordinates the best targets is gonna win over here.
Yeah, because they get a pick before we do. Even
Yeah,
though we...
they also had a pick already. They got your Reinhardt down.
It's like you're playing football with a team of 6 with 5 little kids. If you're gonna call what they're gonna have to do, it's gonna work a lot better than you just don't say anything, and it's gonna be a shit mess.
yeah. It's just a fucking scrap fest.
Unlucky. Get out.
This is a good disengagement though.
Yeah. It's good to see you do the right thing as Lucio. You keep your speed boost up instead of the healing.
Yeah. And you once again knocked their Reinhardt back a bit, so your Reinhardt is actually
Yeah.
getting saved now. Which is good.
Yeah, we're all here, we're all here.
Because you see many Lucios use the healing there, but it's not gonna save someone.
It may delay their death, but not much more.
Yeah, they give more insight.
Better off trying to get them out of hitting range or whatever, so they just don't take damage.
Right.
Oh, fuck no. War, save it. Turn your
Right.
shield around for the...
It's good.
Yeah.
Actually, I have no clue what's gonna be happening here.
I think you're gonna end up
Yeah.
winning this fight, weirdly, or at least getting some crucial
Make
picks
sure
for
we
an
get Zen
advantage.
before we grab, really.
Never mind, I would appear to be mistaken.
Yeah, it's just like
We've
we
got
just
2
keep...
minutes.
Your general
Because it
timing
goes
was decent
down.
though. Yeah. Your general timing was good though. Like they used Zarya bubbles, and just as like they used their Zarya team bubble, you got in with the speed up, which is good. They grabbed you, which like let's be real, if they grab you and they throw a default in, yeah, then things might start to get sticky. But like the initial play of where like looking at their Zarya bubbles and like, hey, they don't have a team bubble, we can push now. That was a good call.
To use Diva to distract them so they can turn the shield around inside.
Yeah, I see that coming.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We saw it as well, but in general, your Reinhardt has been losing a few mind games here, so it's a bit
Yeah,
unfortunate.
in the end, it's not your mistake over here. There.
Yeah.
Your
Anything
range,
else, just
yeah,
die quick.
Having some issues.
that's the range job.
Yep.
It's...
Don't use any
Yeah,
others, die
basically we
quick.
just can't win a fight, like they just outplay us
Yeah.
each time, and they start to get cocky. I think we might push it. I think we win a fight, but we start...
Yeah, you're gonna push the streets phase. One thing you can look to do if your Reinhardt's maybe struggling in the mind games, you can maybe look to use like off angles and walls a bit more to make sure that you do not get shattered yourself. If you feel comfortable wall
yeah.
riding, because if you're like I don't know 5 meters up in the air, then I don't see the Reinhardt shattering you anytime soon.
Okay, they're gonna have...
And if you're a next level confident Lucio, you just ride the walls and you boot the Rhino when he's gonna shatter, so they have
Yeah.
a little bit more. But
Yeah, so you got an extra couple of seconds.
that's
Yeah.
like a 50-50 it's gonna work, so.
Yeah. Right. Now we have beat drop though. We want to get
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, so just gonna pause for a second. The call
Yeah.
over here is you're gonna count down a speed boost, just call for your Zarya to save bubble for the Reinhardt and just speed in with a sound barrier.
Yeah.
And you will win the fight just by having confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have a Zen goat, so they automatically like have more damage to you unless you like hit the fattest antenna with the greatest target focus. Whereas if you do get your beat drop off with a speed boost, then you can kind of rush at their team before they really have the means of healing. Like Zen's healing orb is nice, but it's not going to stop a 6-man goats, with beat drop.
Of course we get
And you get sniped again, yeah.
Of course I catch a pin. That's twice that's happened now.
It's just ridiculously unlucky.
Not much you could do about this one.
The thing you have to remember, it's better you die than any other target in your team because you're fast.
I do laugh about it more than
actually complain, because do keep in mind, like you have already engaged her and you've used your beat prop. Like you've done
so I've
the
got
most
no
important thing is
more
Lucio.
cooldowns anyway.
Well, you can like it's always good to be in the fight and get some boops and some healing and some damage. But like your Ana's keeping your entire team alive with anti-nades, whereas now you get like double flex support, so no more break. Then you still have like Zarya and Reinhardt doing the majority of the damage and shielding. So
Okay, I don't see it here.
it's
Again, a little trick of Lucio.
yeah,
Just go sit here in the little high room on the
Top
next to
left
the
window.
team, top left
Little
window,
window.
indeed.
Yeah, and
Because
then
you're
just,
gonna heal and speed push your team, but they won't notice you, and you can boot them.
you
So
still got your line of sight on the
Love him.
payload.
much safer.
Yeah, especially if they play goats. It's gonna be fucked up if they play Widowmaker or Hanzo because there will be someone on the counterpart high ground and they will fuck you up. But if they play goats, just do it.
A lot of high ground is very accessible to Lucio in Goats v Goats just because there's no one to really contest him from there. And if their D.Va actually comes to fly up to it, you just speed out and the D.Va's not with the team.
That's
Never mind, don't worry.
actually a huge move.
Yeah, because you only get credit for one, but you actually got two. I'm giving it to you.
It's because he just
He
shattered
stepped off
and
the edge,
charged.
I think.
Yeah. Should have been player of the game.
Yeah.
I think I was hoping it was.
Yeah.
Okay, push, cancel one, what have we got?
Right, so we don't have that
Or
much,
anything
but we
without
can hold him close still. I'm alright with that. Once again here, Ana's already on the payload, so this is your perfect prime moment to get in the fray of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, your team really needs you here because they
Yeah.
can't disengage without you.
Yeah. Sadly, we can keep him alive. We got a big shatter.
Ooh.
Yeah. Just kind of look at like the overview that you have here. Who is going to ever contest you when you were on the high ground?
No one. D.Va, sorry.
If D.Va really wants to go for you, you just let her like fly into you, and then you take the time to disengage because you get knocked back anyways.
I want to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Is playing? Yes. Okay, because my Lucio heart is saying yes, but everyone should be saying no. You're gonna go here for the Reddit instead of saving your team.
Yeah.
You get the Zen kill, but your Zarya and before that there was someone else, the Zen, could have been alive if you were speeding them. And it could have been more helpful than doing this because you're standing here now like I can't go anywhere and your team is just dying over there.
Yeah. Could have maybe gone for a disengage.
Back up.
I know the feeling. I would also do it probably, but it's not the good decision.
Yeah.
Here it's sad that your Reinhardt
I
can't
know.
quite get to push up.
Ryan, get
Yeah.
up. Ryan, get up.
Yeah, and I just sort of couldn't.
I'll
Yeah.
have barrier and I can speed boost. Just
It's kind of like I guess the stress of the moment kicking in. Maybe if you called it,
No,
or maybe if they pushed up
don't
just a little
use
bit, it could have
grab
helped.
until
But
we know the Zen's there, then use
And then I just waste my ult.
Okay, push.
yeah, I mean you got to do something here. Like at least your Sentinel just ended, so like it's not a big overlap, and it was last fight, so you kind of got to do something. I think Zen is going to walk into that grab. Yeah.
Can't.
Yeah, and that's the focus fire kicking in. Like on your defense, Bob was saying like if you stay on a payload, then they'll start focusing you, and then this happens. Yeah, this is what can happen if they start focusing you. Discord plus stun plus Zarya.
It's so winnable. So winnable.
It was,
Yeah,
but
it
you
was
guys
really
did well
winnable.
though, because you were like a 3-2-1 stack versus a full 6 stack with a Smurf at least.
But the most important thing, you win this if you get like, how do you say that? Als je er zelfverzekerd in gaat. Help
If you
me,
become
Argyll.
confident.
Yeah, if you go in confidence, your team needs confidence. And no one is gonna do it, but you're the Lucio. You can, you have the speed boost. You can
Yeah.
count down for them, and it will happen.
You can kind of dictate the pace of the game in that sense.
But I mean, so essentially, it's just trying to give really useful information that will tell tanks that they can either take a step forward or fucking go straight in or anything like that.
Yeah. Against Goats v Goats, just tell at start of the game against the Zarya, even though he's gonna react half the time like I know that, but it's not, they don't know.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Save your Zarya shield for the Reinhardt after they use theirs on their Rein, and then you count down the speed boost and just shout push, and everyone will push and you will win.
Yeah, that's it.
9
Build
out
it
of
and then
10.
it'll come.
Yes.
Goats on these ranks is all about commitment. Just go in all together.
Yes. So we had like a
Yeah.
bit of a talk about the like different Goats variations and how they can kind of beat or benefit one another. Like we said, target calling is mostly the main tank's job. Just who we're going for. If your main tank is really quiet, just I don't know, kind of repeat what he's like actually swinging at, or tell him to, or otherwise take it over. But
but keep an eye on him and see if I could just boost him, not boost him. Give
Guide him,
as much
steer him.
support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if he's really quiet, then maybe just call whatever target he happens to be going for. And
No,
if
but
he's
everyone
if
else
he's like
helps him,
really
yeah.
like, I wouldn't recommend what's it called, like deciding the target call because your main tank isn't saying it, and then like saying something else that he's actually going for. But that's just like, I guess, a bit of a competitive like solo queue issue. But generally, like the main tank would decide who you're going for. A couple things that you can maybe look to do as a support, because we had like a bit of goats theoreticals. Like we said, Zarya bubbles are very important in goats, and so are speed amps. I think those are like the two biggest cooldowns in the goats thingies. So definitely one of the things we could do is look at abilities, and we can look at how to track them. That would be mostly concerning the enemy team, and how to manage our own. These things oftentimes tie into one another. So, as an example, if they use their Zarya team bubble very early and they do not really get any value from it, then what would your role as Lucio be?
They use their bubble, sorry.
They use their Zarya team bubble, but they do not
Yeah.
really get any value from it.
Yeah,
So now it's like kind of up to you to make a move. Like, what would your role as Lucio be in that case?
just push.
So then you
Or
can
put
see.
everything, or just
Yeah.
call out the bubble, because
Yeah.
the max amount of charge she'll be able to get would be another 40 or 50.
Yeah.
Like,
But if you have
50
if you have two bubbles online and they have only
Uh,
one, it's an advantage, right?
yeah, absolutely. I could
Yeah.
just stand inside the
Yeah.
Zarya.
Yeah. So in that case, you track what abilities they use, and subsequently you adjust your own plans and manage your own. So you can say, hey, they use their Zarya bubble and didn't really get anything from it. I think we're just gonna speed amp onto their Reinhardt with bubbles of our own.
Yeah, with twice the amount.
Yeah, and you don't like have to like be full elaborate. You can just say, Zarya no team bubble amp now, and push in. It could be like a 6-word sentence, and your team will probably know what to do with it, and you can instruct them.
Yeah.
Same thing kind of applies to ultimates. As a general rule of thumb, Reinhardt commonly gets his ultimate every fight or so, together with Brigand Goats. Zarya, if they're high charge, yes. Otherwise, keep it at like once every 1.5 or 2 fights. Diva, probably around the 1.5 and 2 fights. Lucio and Zen, both around the 1.5 and 2 fight territory as well, in most cases. It does shift a bit when you're running Ana or Moira. You can expect those two to have their ults like every single fight, and if you're running an Ana or a Moira, then your Lucio will be a bit slower on ult charge, but that's nitty-gritty things. So once again, you can track what ultimates are being used, and you can sort of make your like your own plan accordingly. So, like the shatters is always a bit difficult. If you're running Lucio Zen, then you can deal with both shatter and grav in terms of sustain. But let's say if they have used the Graviton Surge, then you're relatively comfortable that you can, for instance, use your own beat drop without too many hassles. And usually it's quite handy to match rallies versus one another, and sometimes to match beats versus one another, but it's not too big a deal. The shatters is mostly up to the Reinhardts, and some teams still use like Graviton Diva Bomb combos. For those ones, you actually just need a lot of shielding and transcendence. Beat drop isn't really good to save you from those.
It's not as reliable.
Yeah, because you do like your shield gives you 100 HP and a Diva Bomb in your face deals 100 HP or 1000, sorry. So like at best you'll like escape with 200 HP, and that is supposed that no one ever swung at you in the Graviton.
No, it's not gonna happen.
It's not really gonna happen though. So ideally you just wanna make sure that you play around the Graviton if you're not running Zen, and if you are running Zen, it's just all playing around your Zen and playing around your bubbles and shields. That's the only thing that can save you from it, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the things as well, where you can say like, hey, they used Shatter or they used a lot of ultimates this fight, maybe I can use my beat drop this way. So once again, same thing applies. You track what ultimates they used, and you decide what ultimates you want to use. Then for engagement, it's just something that's relatively handy for Lucio specifically to do, because you have a speed boost. Just call your engagements and disengagements. If you say fight loss, speed out, then your team will know to get back. And if you say push in, then you can kind of do something very similar, because Bob, I think, also gave the example. If you just say, I have beat drop, I have speed amp, and they have no ultimates. Okay, boys, on 3, I'm gonna like speed amp in with a beat drop. 3, 2, 1, go, and you press the 2 buttons. You can kind of dictate the pace there.
It's like with Lucio is made for setting a phase for your team.
Yeah, setting the pace.
Like you decide when you go in and how you go in and how fast and when you disengage.
Mm-hmm.
Because your team is like, as a Reinhardt, did you ever play Rein or some in quick play?
Plays
or
all
whatever?
sorts of things.
Oh,
It's
dude,
it's quite hard for a Reinhardt to see around him what's gonna happen or when he has to disengage, because he's not gonna look behind him. So as Lucio, you can see everything. You are the overview. You call everything.
Yeah, I'm just more geared to do it.
Yeah, just try it as much. Just mostly on offense. Just call when you're gonna speed boost and when it's gonna happen. And as long as a few in your team will listen, you will win.
Yeah. I mean, like, it was fun to play on NA because I was able to communicate. Like, I played 3 matches in a row on EU, and only one of the matches had comms, and that was in the last 10 seconds where everyone just starts shouting at each other.
Why did we play Ash?
Yeah,
this entire map.
Yeah,
So I went on NA and had two games. This is one, and I won the other one. And I just, even though this was a loss, it was just much more comfortable because everybody was like.
At least it was an actual game.
Yeah, I mean, it was so winnable, and we all kind of like had a good go. I thought, like, I think we were all at a level where we kind of knew what we needed to do in a general way, but we just didn't know enough to kind of be more consistent.
Yeah.
And,
it wasn't an easy game because you were up against a 6-stack, which I thought like Desire was level 100 and was like diamond, so I think that might have been a smurf. So it wasn't like an easy task by any means because you were solo queue plus duo queue plus trio. So it wasn't an easy task, but I think you guys still did quite well on that. But about like communication, like I've always done it on EU as well, and it's always a bit of a challenge in Overwatch solo queue because just not everyone communicates, and sometimes people don't understand English quite as well as you'd like. But just try to get into these things, especially if it's very short and simple sentences, because even if you're not very good at English, you'll know what use beat drop means or you use Lucio ult.
Yeah.
So it's like very short and concise sentences can definitely help a lot. And even if 4 of your team members start to actually follow up on it, you'll probably do like better than 6 random chickens.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're just hoping that people are just in the habit of focusing a relatively good target.
One person following would already be good.
People will listen to you, even if they don't talk. There are a lot of games you hear not a single word from I don't care
everyone but one person.
Yeah. But if you keep callings, always you will win more games than you will lose eventually. Because the same thing is on the enemy team. They also won't have someone talking.
Yeah. But imagine for a second that you have a team where at least one person is guiding things, and the enemy team is completely 6 people like left to their own.
Yeah.
Could be a bit of an edge.
Enough of an advantage.
That advantage, it will get you more win percentage. And then you gain rank.
And ideally, of course, you'd have like 6 people on microphones, like only giving the relevant information at the right times, but it's not really going to happen. But like even if one person like offers good information or at least listens, that can be so beneficial because I always like to use dive examples. Like if I'm playing Winston in solo queue and I have a tracer with me that doesn't say a word, but literally like follows whatever target I go for, like that's perfect and that's fine. And Ghost is a bit different, but like if your Reinhardt just like always listens to what you say and like actually engages when you say push now or shields up when you say shield up. Like even if he doesn't say a word, if only that Reinhardt just like follows your pace and helps set something up, that could be very beneficial. Much more than their Lucio and their Reinhardt being quiet and running in 2 different directions after the game. So it's like it's a bit difficult to get comms going sometimes, especially on like solo queue. You just know that whatever like valuable information you can offer, if someone picks it up, and let's be real here, solo queue can be a bit of a mystery at times, but people will generally be able to understand very short sentences, and they'll probably get something going. It's just a little bit of an edge that you can give yourself.
Yeah, I think that definitely helps a lot.
So definitely, try to look for those Zarya bubbles and those speed amps, and try to keep track of those ults. And if you relay that to your team, then you'll probably get some good plans going.
Just a heads up, it's not going to get better the higher rank you get.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
There's no difference in any rank.
Yeah, when I was talking to my friend, I think the bar is kind of like rising, and that's why like plat is a little bit wishy-washy at the moment, where it's almost like 3 ranks within platinum, I think. But friends of mine who were plat are kind of like stuck in low gold now, and they're like, I'm like, well, yeah, it's a slightly different game. So even though you've definitely gotten better, the kind of difficulty,
it's like
the state of the game is also gone.
Like the relative skill at every rank is just increased over time. Like look at season 2 platinum will be drastically different from this season.
So we've not gotten worse, we've just not kept up and then exceeded, and that's what. I think that's where I am.
The most important thing in Overwatch, which you can gain the most rank by, is just being game smart. Just know the game, when to do anything. Mechanical skill is only important on like
Widowmaker, McCree,
Genji, and Widowmaker. Indeed, But on like almost every other character on tanks and supports, it's all about being game smart.
Yeah, definitely. Big brain.
And you do like generally have good games. It's sometimes a bit of awareness that slips, but if you do generally have like the ultimate knowledge and the ability knowledge. So if you
It's
like
just
just
being
keep a keen eye on that,
consistent,
like
yeah.
being consistent, keep an eye on it, and relay it to your team. That'll probably help you out quite a bit already.
Yeah, I just needed to be reminded of the nice core concepts I can easily. But yeah, I mean, this is giving me some specifics to work on because even that information is good in a non-goat setup anyway.
Yeah, like you can always use it for other metas, other hero matchups.
Yeah.
I just try to at the start of a game, try to make a little game plan. Don't make it complicated. Just an easy one. Just use it at the first fight, and after you all die or win, you make a new plan.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Like, so if we say that we're just going to push through the hotel or something like that, but then they got a May and we get walled off straight away, it's like, okay, maybe
let's not push through hotel this time.
Maybe let's go the other way and bait out the wall. But yeah, just as soon as you make a plan, you'll know straight away if it's going to work or not as soon as you engage. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Right.
Yeah, easy clap, masters.
Any questions from either Slapdash or anyone else who's spectating? Because we have Cake and Wolfgar, and I can also look at random chit chat because there's 3 folks are typing.
What?
There's 2 people in the VOD review, but they can use Origin messages.
I don't have any questions currently now, so.
Oh, Wolf.
Nice.
Hey man.
It's a Wolfgar.
It's me. I was sneaky.
A bit of a sneaky fellow.
I am.
I saw you snooped in.
Yeah. I didn't tell no one.
But I saw you.
You noticed.
In VODs.
You did. Bob failed. You succeeded on your perception check.
I've seen nothing.
Perception checks smile.
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions from Slapdash then?
I think I'm okay.
Good.
It was I think it's I kind of saw where I could have made vast improvements. I think I just need to go back to, because certainly when I started playing Lucio, I was always just practicing for ages on just empty maps with the rule writing and just figure out the ways to make it easy to consistently stay up. And that was before all the fucking buffs he'd had in the last year. So I think I've become lazy because he's a lot easier than he used to be to wall ride.
But okay. But you can wall ride pretty good. Your offensive Lucio is really good. But okay, there was another little but I didn't even call it out because fuck it, it's not really necessary. But try to keep yourself always on the wall.
Yeah.
Always stay above your team. On King's Row, for example, on the last point, you shouldn't even touch the ground. 90% of the time, just be on walls on every side.
Can't get shattered if you're not on the ground.
Yeah, if you get shattered, you're doing wrong.
No, I know, yeah.
If you go to enemy Rhino Shatter, you're not going to touch the ground. Just wall rides. And it's like, I'm not really a fan of the custom maps because the wall ride is the, how is it called? That custom game. Can someone help? Surfing.
Yeah, workshop.
Yeah, you see surfing
no.
now and just practicing. It's not the same thing if you play a game because you want to
have some opposition.
Do you use spacebar to jump or scroll wheel?
Yeah, I use spacebar.
Okay, nice. I'm also a spacebar guy. Fuck scroll wheel. But you want to be able to wall ride achteruit. Hoe zeg je dat mooi?
Backwards.
Behind. Backwards.
Yeah.
It's like you want to learn how to aim on someone and still keep on the wall.
Keep momentum and stuff. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I mean, I don't really like those fucking workshop games where you just roll out from one end of the map.
It's a bit artificial.
Just say,
like it's not the concept of an actual game.
Just run around and keep aiming at one point in the middle of the map or something. So you keep making 360, but you have to keep your aim in the middle, so you're always backwards to a wall. That's kind of good practice, but
yeah.
That's the way you have to learn how to wall ride with Lucio.
Yeah. Like, I used to do that on maps, just literally try and figure out walls or areas that I can actually stay high and get a good vantage point, or
Also, I got a really good video for you when you got time one time. There's one time Jane with Astro, he made it like a Lucio episode, and there's like really helpful information there which many Lucios don't think about. It's kinda, you probably don't have to do it at like 2700 that rank, but it's gonna help really much on high ranks to do that with Lucio because you can do a lot.
And you can see my guess my SR.
I will send you the link in a second.
Please do, that'd be wicked.
It's like, because Astro is like, in my eyes, the best Lucio there is.
Especially if it, like, in terms of mechanics.
Yeah, because you have SK, and they're all like Reddit Lucios, really good, but they are only good at the offensive part. While Lucio is a very versatile hero. You're a defensive, offensive, displacement, you have to do everything. Astro is like amazing at it. controlling high grounds is a Lucio thing because you can easily do it.
Yeah, you can contest widows occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
1v1 them with a mercy pocket, no problem.
Yeah, but for example, the second point on Volskaya, if you have
Yes.
to push that and you're playing like a goats comp, you're the one that puts off the Hanzo, the Widow, everything that can be on the high ground.
Yeah, absolutely. You can get there more safely than the others.
And also you can be redded on defensive. If like a Genji attacks your backline, your Ana, and your full team is going forward and you're the only one in the back, you're the one that can like 1v1 a Genji easily. Just pick 4 headshots, a boop, and a melee hit, he's dead.
Yeah.
And you are
Easy.
redded Lucio defensively. Also, Jane.
I'm gonna stop recording it out because I think unless anything urgent pops up right now, but I think we covered most of the things.
Yeah, I'm happy. I need to go get some food and
Cool.
stuff. So.